Mic check, 1, 2. Looks like we're doing good here. Hope everyone's doing well. Go ahead and bring the scene live here. I forgot to hover over to make sure those. Alright. Hello everyone, hope everyone's doing well. I know we're quite a bit late for our usual start time, but today we have a special little thing going on. We're going to be showing off some Artisan builds. If you're not sure what Artisan means, that means that there are going to be no rares in the deck. We have this idea to try to show off some deck ideas that you could play that could somewhat compete in the standard format, but also you don't have to, break the budget to make these decks. Now, there are definitely cards that you could add that are rares to make them better, obviously, but this is that way. It's like if you don't have like the craft for arena, or you want to just build a deck really cheap on the budget, so that way you can just take it to like your local game store. These are ones that you can possibly have fun with. I decided to make a pump deck for red green and a Rakdos style sacrifice deck for the black red. We'll jump into the pump deck first, and then we'll move over to the Rakdos deck. So, within red-green, we actually have a lot of really strong cards for a pump build. Now, we have probably one of the best creatures for red-green right now for 2 mana is a 3/2 Trampler, that if you spend 1 red mana, you can kick it, and it'll be a 4/3 with haste until end of turn. So it's great as a turn 2 drop, and it's even great as a turn 3 or later drop. So, definitely a all-star for this deck idea. We run some Outland Liberators because it gives us some answers to artifacts, enchantments, but it is also just a solid 2-drop that potentially becomes a 3/3 attacker that we don't have to sacrifice destroy artifacts, enchantments if it's during the night side, because it'll have an attack trigger to destroy any artifact or enchantment that the defending player controls. For our other creatures, we do have the Electrostatic Infantry. It's a new card that's 1/2 trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the infantry. And since we're going with the whole bunch of pump spell plan, it means that we can not only get the ability to pump the card, but get the extra counters as well to grow it. And hello, Izzy. Hope things are going well for you. Ooh. I haven't seen you in the last couple streams, so it's nice seeing you back again. I mean, you may have been lurking around, and I didn't say anything, but still appreciate you whenever you show up. Other creatures we're using are going to be the Jewel Thief, because it's a great 3-drop, 3/3 Vigilance Trample, and whenever it enters battlefield, we get a treasure token, so it helps make sure that we have our flexible mana, and potentially the ability to play multiple spells in a turn. To give us a top end, we run Child of the Pact, because it's a 2/5 body for 4 mana that we can spend 4 mana to generate 2/2 wolf tokens. But also, if it becomes night, we end up giving a 5/5 that gives all of our other creatures +1/+0. And since we can just sink 4 mana to create 2/2 tokens on this, it's easy to make it night and still get value for going to night. Our last of our creatures is the Rabbit Battery, because it's just a nice little 1-drop. It has haste. We can then give our other creatures haste and +1/+1 by shifting it onto them. And we have the Kumano Faces of Kakazan, which isn't directly a creature, but everyone should know this one by now. Enters battlefield, deals 1 damage to each opponent and planeswalker they control. Next spell, creature spell we cast will get a +1/+1 counter during the second trigger. The last trigger, importantly, makes it that way if we manage to deal damage and kill all our opponent's creatures, they go into exile, so there's no recursion for their creatures and no death triggers. For the spells to help us out, we are going with a couple Furious Bellows, because First Strike can be very important, because there are a few Death Touchers that run around, and it's nice having that First Strike bonus. We have some Lightning Strike to just be spot removal, also damage that can go to face to just end the game. We have Twinferno in the deck, because we can either use it to copy up a spell, or we can use it to give a creature double strike. Both of them are powerful effects for our deck, but I think we're going to mainly rely on the potential double strike with this card. And last but not least, we have Colossal Growth. So for 2 mana, we get give a creature +3/+3 until turn. If you kick it, you give that creature +4/+4, trample, and haste, which means if we draw this and we have the ability to play like one of our 2-drop creatures, we have an extra 3 mana, we could potentially not only bring the creature to the board, but give it this huge bonus of pump and swing it in right away. But that's the general idea for this Artisan build, and we'll jump into the game and try it out. Yeah, and if you're just joining in, today is just going to be going with the idea of playing some no rare decks, see how well we can do. Try to see if I can build some decks on the budget that look like they can maybe compete in the format. Our biggest problem is still going to be mono black. Off the start, it's a little awkward going, but I think what we do is we lead with the Rugged Highlands, play Kakazan, on turn 2. Because then we can go Highlands on turn 2 as well, and then turn 3 we can kick the Iconoclast, and it'll be a 5/4. It's a little slow rolled, but I think that's not a terrible plan. Versus Mulk, who is in white-blue. So this could be the white-blue Plaza of Heroes. Not what I was expecting. To try to play around our opponent's counterspell magic, let's lead with the Liberator. Now, Liberator will possibly get counterspelled here with the pay 2 more counterspell. Make disappear like I was planning. But I was more willing to give that up so that way we can go for the Iconoclast. I think with seeing Plaza of Heroes, it means that we're going to be playing against... oh, why am I blanking on the name of the enchantment support creature? Zur. But with Adeline to the board, that doesn't seem to be the case. It might be a Ratadrobic style deck then. Let's go for our kick here. Send this in. I didn't go for immediately destroying the Adeline or baiting an attack against it because I felt like it was a good time to just attack in the way we did. Because we have the Pump and Lightning Strike plan here. Alright. So the opponent gets rid of both Wandering Emperor and Kaido. Alright, let's send the team. Thanks to this being a +4/+4, it doesn't matter what they use to block Adeline, we can pump anything large enough to kill it. And they can't just block Iconoclast with Raffine without losing it. So, let's see, I think we'll just go... Alright. Kicker here. That way we can get rid of the Adeline. They do get to keep the Raffine because we were a mana short from being able to, you know, hold up for the other growth to finish off the Scheming Seer there, but... This is just general Esper deck, but I don't usually see Adeline in it, so that was a little different from the usual deck designs I see. Alright, opponent's got AO. Alright, opponent's more than likely has a... this is a Wandering Emperor in their hand, more than likely. Trying to think... If they go Wandering Emperor, they exile Iconoclast. But, when we swing in... we can put a lot of pressure, so let's go ahead and bring out Rabbit Battery. We don't equip it anywhere, but we swing the bodies. Wandering Emperor, -2, get rid of Iconoclast. Oh, it's an Urtai. Okay, wasn't expecting Urtai. I'll be honest, that did surprise me. But with the draw of the Lightning Strike, I think we can still end it here. Let's see, if we kick this, get 1 trample damage, brings him down to 6. We could Lightning Strike, Lightning Strike. And they're going to be very reliant on what's on board. I was thinking about maybe just pushing all the damage from here. Make it so that way we didn't have to do Lightning Strike, but... Alright, we'll just put the stop. We'll give them the GG, because they don't have any way to stop this. And we're just not even going to let them get that 2 damage on us with the shoulder there. Alright, so off to a great start showing off this deck. We take down a very powerful Esper list. I don't know why they have AO here, but I mean, they had Wandering Emperor, Kaido, Make Disappears, Sheoldred. Like, they had... this is basically actually the opposite of what we're running. They're running all the rares, we're running no rares. But hope everyone's doing well. I wasn't sure if anyone tried to catch a stream that's here from yesterday. Sadly, we weren't able to have a tournament fire off because it was canceled, but we did get to show off some deck ideas for the next tournament. And again, if you haven't had a chance to check out our Discord, we do have the deck ideas posted there for people to vote on which deck they'd like to see played. And if you need a link to our Discord, you can check it out right there. There's a poll up to let us know which deck you'd like to see played during our next tournament. Located in the Historic Brawl Decks section if you want to check it out. Let's see. On the open, I think we can keep this. Unfortunately, this is a tap source, but we can still go Rabbit Battery here. Just poke in 1. Nice thing about the Iconoclast, we don't have to play this on turn 2. But we will play it on turn 2 because we drew the land for it. Alright, so it's mono blue more than likely. In which case, being able to get to the board early like this is going to be very helpful. We'll go to combat and send in the attackers. Alright, opponent chooses to take it. Go for the Highlands. Opponent's going to Impulse. The fact that we have a safekeeping here is going to be very helpful to us, because if the opponent does try to rely on their bounce magic to protect them, we can use it to interrupt or make them waste spells. Alright, let's go for an attack. We just let it resolve. I'm not going to go for Child of the Pack because they more than likely have a Assault coming or some just hard counterspell magic. Probably should have equipped Rabbit Battery over to that Iconoclast. Alright, Terror for our opponent is a bit troubling. We'll attempt to get infantry to the board. We will put this here, but we're just going to pass the turn after we go for the equip. So, Izzy, you say you're trying to test something out? What you testing? Yeah, I think I may have played this a little too passively. Probably should have brought Child of Night out when we had a chance just to deny them the Thirst for Discovery draw option, but... I think, what do we do here? Let's go for Jewel Thief. This allows us to play around a Make Disappear. Alright, we get the Urtai Scorn from our opponent. In which case, let's try sending damage. As the opponent blocks infantry, we can go Twinferno, give it Double Strike, get rid of the Terror. Alright, we'll attempt Double Strike. Now, they could bounce our Iconoclasts, or they could, you know, bounce infantry here. But they also could Spell Pierce us, which would be bad. Alright, so they bounce in response to save their Terror. Get some damage through. Let's see. So what you're testing is if your deck loses once in ranked, play it in the play queue for a quick win to see if it fixes the winning in ranked. I'm not entirely sure how that's supposed to work, but okay. Basically, see if you're going to be hitting like a string of losses kind of idea. Try to get around it by going into the non-ranked queue. Because sometimes the game will force losses based on your streak that you're going on. Let's go for the Iconoclast. I didn't see any stop from our opponent there. Let's attack with the infantry. Go for safekeeping. Alright, opponent's going to use Negate there, but we'll now just Lightning Strike their face. We may have had the spell canceled, but we still get the counter trigger. So we kill their Terror. Opponent's down to 4, so we have them in a tight spot here. See, so they discard a land. So attempt Child. Reconfigure here. One's going to consider. Go for the attacks. And opponent's giving us a GG, so I think that means we got it. They probably don't have any interaction here. Yep, there we go. We get there. We beat the mono blue deck. All right, that's 2 games, 2 wins against, you know, some pretty big decks. But yo, Izzy, was that what you meant though? It's like once when you were saying that it's like you are trying out playing a ranked game, and if you lose, you go into the non-ranked to see if you're gonna be still having like the same draw issues kind of idea, or and try to like play through them. Answer is doesn't seem to work. Well, it is an RNG based system. But I mean, hey, sometimes you just gotta test like crazy things like that. You're never sure what the algorithm on games and how they work. Because there have been games where, or systems that have been built before where they try to matchmake you, and depending on like what your win-loss rate is, then it will try to force you into games where you'll lose, or at least disadvantaged. And how people were dealing with it was basically how you were saying, but I don't think this game has that kind of algorithm to it. So I mean, it's, but you never know without you know, play testing to see how it works, right? Okay, so looking at our later game creatures in this hand, I think we'll still keep this. Just trying to decide if I go Kumano right away. I think I will. We either get lucky and get ourselves a 2-drop next turn, or we at least, you know, get a turn where this transforms, you know, to be an answer for a Lilith, or not Lilith, but Lilith play. Or not Lilith. What am I blanking on? Liliana. Man, sometimes I just mix up all types of names. So, yeah, if they bring down Liliana, we'll be able to at least have sacrifice fodder for the purpose of Liliana. Nice thing about the Twin Inferno is we can give our creature double strike, so we can actually fight through the Death Touch. The only problem is they'll start being able to spend 3 mana to put +1/+1 counters on it and get draw off of it. It does cost them some life, but my opponent just passes it back, holding up 1 mana. Fortunately, that 1 mana could just be a cut down style mana. Let's go for the land. Try to do an attack. Alright, attack goes through. We go for the Jewel Thief. Now, they actually still technically have priority to be able to reactivate the level 1 here. So that could also be where their priority is being held. Just trying to bust through, let's see. Trying to power through Diamond with Boros aggro. Well, best of luck with that. We'll take the 3 here because they can just activate it and be able to give it the +1/+1 counter, and all we would just do is just lose our Jewel Thief. Alright, they play Sheoldred. We lose some life here. We go to the combat and see if we can catch the opponent here. They choose to take it all. Let's see, so we can actually go +4/+4 onto our creature. I'm trying to do the math here. So that does 7. Then we can give it double strike. That's 14, short of lethal. So we'll just let that resolve and go for another Jewel Thief. Pass it back. I'm not committing Iconoclast to the board because it makes it easy for the opponent to go, okay, I'm going to give up my Evolved Sleeper here and do a X3 Meat Hook Massacre. Alright, Sorin for our opponent. That means I don't have to worry about blocking here. The reason why I say that is I don't have to worry about them activating the Evolved Sleeper and getting the ability to just kill us based off of what they have. But we're looking at a lethal swing potentially here. Yep, we lose some life. We send the team to the face, and we go for that win. Okay, so how much damage are we looking at here? We got 3 coming in through here, so that means if we... Do I have enough mana to do this? I can kick... And yeah, so I can do this. I kick here. Twin Inferno, target creature I control gets double strike. And Twin Inferno, double strike. Good game. We beat Mono Black. Oh, right you are there, Izzy. But the one thing is I still had to make sure... Well, math is for blockers. I still have to make sure when I'm using my pump spells, I'm getting that lethal still. Yeah, no, I was actually trying to think, though. It's like, maybe I Twin Inferno copy the Colossal Growth. And in all honesty, that actually would have pushed, I think, a little more damage. Because this is a +4/+4, and this is only double strike. So, technically, that would have been more damage. But that's okay. We still get there. It's the important part. Righty. So far, the deck's 3 for 3. This is actually really amazing for an Artisan build. And we've taken down 3 top decks. We took down Esper. We took down Mono Blue, and we took down Mono Black. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to... I mean, our deck is doing really well. Oh, they get the turn 1 duress. That's a shame. I wonder how long we can ride this win streak here with the deck. Alright, we're against black-blue here. Let's go for Outrider, or Outland Liberator. This way, if the opponent goes, like, play the Lily, we can end up going for Kumano, because they're going to use Liliana to make a sacrifice. And Kumano here will do 1 point of damage to the Planeswalker and the player, and finish Lily off for us. Alright, Celestis for our opponent. Let's go land, Jewel Thief, play the faces, and attack it. Getting really aggressive to this board will get punished if it has a Meat Hook here, because they can go Meat Hook 3, sweep up both our creatures. But at this point, we have to just, you know, try to jam it, try to go for that aggressive board state. We can't play it too passively. Yeah, there's that Meat Hook X3. There's actually talks about this card potentially seeing a ban, just because it's in every black deck, and it basically hinders aggro so much. And one of the best ways to fight against the Meat Hook is usually use your own Meat Hook. That way you can offset the death triggers. Alright, opponent gets a Leer. So they can play the Duress. They get to see our hand. Now, do they take the Colossal Growth or the Lightning Strike? They probably take the Growth. Yep, they take the Growth. I was a little surprised by it. I thought they might have actually decided to keep up the mana for the Spell Pierce there. Go for the Rabbit. Oh, wait, no, it would be dumb for them to keep mana up for Spell Pierce. What was I thinking? Spells can't be countered while Lear's on the board. So, yeah, no, ignore that small thought there for a moment. It was definitely the correct choice then for the opponent to just go ahead and fire off the Duress right away. What do we get off the top? Another red source. Not particularly helpful here. Send the bodies. Opponent's turn. Opponent's not going to block as long as we're representing this Lightning Strike here, because they know that they'll lose the Leer, and Leer is such an important card for them. So Soul Transfer probably going to be played. Gets rid of Etchings. Yep, there it goes. I think, like, what do we still have left in our deck that can really help us, you know, push any pressure here? But sadly, with a Leer on board, they have the Meat Hook going. It's gonna be hard for us. Alright, what does the opponent have in store for us here? We go for Jewel Thief. We give it the haste. Swing it in. No way the opponent blocks here. I think Jewel Thief was probably one of our best draws just because it does become a 4/4 and attacks. Invoke Despair. I think that's basically the end of us here, because they can replay the Invoke Despair next turn, keeps us off creatures, they make us lose life, and get all that draw value. And we draw land, so yeah, that's good game situation. Unfortunate. So we find our first loss against Dimir Control because we couldn't handle Meat Hook and Leer. if you're just joining us, we are playing a red-green pump deck that has 0 rares, trying to give up some deck ideas that are good for people who are trying to play on a budget. And if you haven't noticed, by the way, there is the Untapped.gg app running, so if you're looking for what's in our deck list, you can always, off to the left-hand side of the screen there, you can end up finding a drop-down tab that'll give you an idea of what's in our deck, and it'll also show you what the draw percentages on all of our cards are. Okay, so I think we can keep this. So we can go Highland, Land, Iconoclast. Alright, we're looking to get another land. Red, black, green. So this is usually a Reanimator deck nowadays. Oh, we hit the land. Let's go ahead and just kick this, go in for the damage. Probably see a cut down or a... what's the other card called? There, okay, well, there's the cut down. I was actually legitimately thinking, it's like, maybe we just send the Iconoclast, no creature play. Because they went for the cut down, we could pump in response, but it looks like we're actually against some kind of domain deck idea here. Let's go ahead and swing the 3 in, see what the opponent does. Let's go for Furious Bellow. Ooh, we'll keep the infantry. I went for the Bellows just because we can get that first strike advantage against the opponent, and we'll be able to hold up the growth spells in case they have some kind of burn or minus mechanic that they're going to use to deal with our Iconoclast. Alright, that's unique. So if you're looking for a card that ramps that also exiles cards from graveyard, Honored Heirloom isn't terrible. Then the 3. And we'll play infantry. From here, we actually have a lot of damage potential. I'm not sure how much of it's going to work out for us. Alright, Herd Migration for our opponent. The only problem with infantry here is it's not like Magecraft, where it's, you know, anytime you cast or copy, it's only just a cast trigger. Oh, the Kami War. How unfortunate. Well, let's see here. We'll just go for a... Let's see. I'm trying to think, how much damage can we punch right now? We can punch... by kicking this, do 5 damage, 6 damage, and then we do 7th point because of the Faces of Kakazan. They get the bounce trigger, return up to 1 card. If we had an untapped land, we could play this back to the board, kick it, and punch it in for more. Or we could Twin Inferno. +3/+3, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Gonna go with this plan, just because I think we get slightly more payoff if we had a land off the top. Because if we had a land off the top, the +1/+1 counter we put onto the infantry will end up allowing us to do a bit more. You stay as an enchantment, right? Yeah, you do. Okay, so Go for Liberator. Go for Infantry. The opponent doesn't play anything. We can get the nighttime advantage of Liberator here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. One, two... That's just such... Yeah, no, that's game there. And we lose. Doesn't matter how I divide the piles. The opponent can play the sweeper, kill all of our cards. Well, let me phrase that. It's the fact that they got 2 leyline bindings here meant that I can no longer get lethal through. Ah! Oh well. That's just that was just some bad luck for us on that clear sky draw there. Well, let's go ahead and just do 2 more games of this, and we'll switch up to the other deck idea. A little land heavy. We're lacking the support spells for infantry, but I think we can still keep this. Broker's Powder for our opponent. Hit an Iconoclast. Let's go for the Faces of Kakazan. From here, we can go for the Iconoclast. Try to think this one out. I know we're against white-green enchantments. I think it's better for us to go for infantry instead of the Iconoclast, just because we can give this thing haste for a stronger attack in. Let's send this in. I'm actually not going to play the Iconoclast. Gonna actually kill the Naturalist. Should have actually gone for the Rugged Highlands here. This was a misplay on my end. Because if I gone for the Highlands, I could have played out Rabbit Battery and Iconoclast in the same turn. Yep. So there goes the infantry. Give this a kick. Send in some damage. It's going to be a tough one for us to finish out if we don't get a pump spell or something to answer the enchantments. Alright, Paragon for our opponent. Thankfully, Etchings of Kumano actually exiles their creatures. So they can't play the Naturalist back. Right, Rabbit Battery to the board. Apply said Rabbit Battery here. We'll attack in. And I'll put one more Rabbit Battery to the board. Alright, this is where things get dangerous because of Hallowed Haunting. We need a... Let's see. What do we need off the top? Well, there goes Iconoclast. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Pass it back. I think this is just unfortunately GG's because of we flooded. And I have nothing I can do against them getting a whole bunch of life off Catilda. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we drew 7 lands. Well, that's a GG situation there, so... Yeah, the fact that the opponent managed to get this ramped out for turn 3, because I didn't kill this on turn 2, meant that they get all these little tokens that get bigger for each time that they get more spirits on the board. So, oh well. Hey there, Hench. How are things going? Nice seeing you there. Hope things are going well. Let's see here. What's currently our record with this deck? We started off strong, but unfortunately we hit kind of a brick wall at the same time. Yeah, deck's currently 3-3 because we literally went win 3, lose 3. The funny thing is, we won against the harder decks of the format. Nice to hear things are going well for you there, Hench. Oop, that was a misclick. 1 second, I'm going to have to adjust something here before I can start this match. And there we go. Okay, so all taken care of. Alright, so for the open, I think we actually have a pretty decent turn 1, turn 2 play. But it's going to be awkward with Twin Inferno since we don't have really much that we can do with it right now, but we'll try keeping this. We're against a red-green deck. Now, if the opponent is running partners, we're going to be in some trouble because that would actually be one of the cards that would actually be used in our deck to upgrade it. Because partners will allow them to spin out of control really fast against us. Ooh, sticky fingers for our opponent. Interesting. Let's see here. So we can attack in, play a land, hold up Tamiyo's Safekeeping. Alright, we're going to play no spells this turn if we can help it. I say that just because that way the Outland Liberator can switch over to the Knight. And now when we attack, we can get rid of Sticky Fingers. It does force the opponent to have to play 2 spells. Unfortunately, that is ramped for them, so they could potentially do it kind of easily. Alright. I was thinking maybe I just sacrifice in response, get rid of that Sticky Fingers right now, but... One last opportunity. Do we do that? We're giving up our 4/4 body. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get rid of the Sticky Fingers because it's too dangerous to let them have the ramp. I was trying to see like if they stumbled during their turn on land drops, but they didn't miss the land drop. We'll go for the infantry, holding up safekeeping. The opponent, though, didn't play anything once when they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. It means that they might have been actually requiring it for a 6-drop. I'm not sure. Sadly, we miss our land drop here, which meant we could have played Child of the Pack. Because this would have been a nice, 5/5 that would have granted an extra 1 power to all of our other creatures. Alright, Beast Color for our opponent. Could have been that the opponent just didn't want to play their Beast Color out because they were worried we had a Lightning Strike or something. Okay, so let's go ahead and send the attacks. See the opponent's reactions here. We'll go for safekeeping. They safekeep their own. That's fine. Bring out Rabbit Battery, and it'll be the opponent's turn. Alright, so opponent has land number 6 for a source. I mean, because they have the treasure as well. So mana number 6. That's a big Devastator. How much damage is that? That's 5. It's not enough to be lethal to us, but... see, we could soak a point of damage. Play safekeeping. That means that we grow our infantry. This way, if we hit a pump spell, we could potentially trample through. We don't hit a pump spell. Let's see. So if we go Child of the Pack, try to think like what's the damage that we can do? How much are they gonna swing back? They have another Shivan Devastator. We're dead. We could send the team. And try to maybe get them to block. See, if we use Twinferno, that's going to do up to 8 damage. So we're going to be 1 point short even if they choose not to block. Unless we put Rabbit Battery here. In which case it could do up to 10. But they would probably just block etchings. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what the opponent does. I'm only sending this. Alright, we get the block. Go for Child. So we have protection from another Ground Haster, but again, we're just dead if they have another Devastator. A Burn Down the House. That's not lethal. Because those don't get death triggers. So yeah, that's GG. They misdid their mana because Kumano here. So Lightning Strike. And Twinferno Double Strike. There we go. Oh, we got so lucky. The opponent forgot about the fact that we had Etchings of Kumano on the board. And apparently Izzy's having problems with their opponent. Sorry, I got tied up in my fight here that I didn't notice that. But, oh man, yeah, no, we got really lucky. Because Burn Down the House creates these double tokens that when they die, deal point damage. If it wasn't for Etching's Kumano saying that if we deal damage to something and it would die, it gets exiled instead, we would have actually suffered that last point of damage to be fatal to us. So we got lucky. But Izzy, you said that your opponent's being very difficult. What's going on? Are you against like some kind of control deck, or are you against somebody who's just roping you out every turn? They played a bunch of tap-down creature spells, then played Farewell, then did Approach the Second Sun for the win. Oh. Yeah, Approach the Second Sun is not a very fun win con, in my opinion. The alternate win condition cards, most of them I'm not a fan of because they're not too hard to pull off. And the ones that are hard to pull off are just, why would you bother doing it? Because you have easier ways to win. Approach the Second Sun's the easiest of the win cons that you can do, because you just play a spell twice. And in a full-on control deck, you just have 2 copies of it in your deck, so that way, if you do come across like another control deck, they use a counterspell against you, you still have the other one in there. But you can also run cards that make it so that we have copies of Second Sun in your side deck. Thanks to things like Fae of Wishes, you can, add it to your hand at any time. Yeah, so I understand the pain. I truly do. Farewell is also one of those new removal spell sweepers that I'm not a... I think it's a little too strong for how much it does, because it's all exile. Now, granted, it is 6 mana, which is, a little bit more than the average board wipe cost. But if you think about... Well, let me phrase it. It's more expensive than the faster board wipe cost, where the average fast board wipe cost is 4. But the thing is, it's straight on exile of all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and graveyards. Means that it doesn't matter what your opponent's doing, as long as they're not super friends, you have the answer. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of it. It's a little too oppressive, considering some of the destroy all cards had like extra cost to them, like triple white or something. So I don't know. It's what it is, but it's a good card. No denying that. All right. Let's see. So let me double check real quick. That should bring us up to, what is that, 4-3 with the deck? Put it over here for the tracker. Yeah, so 4-3. We'll go ahead and just call it there with this deck, unless there's a request to see more games played with it, and we'll switch over to the other deck idea, but we'll just go a quick review for those who missed it and want to see what's the deck list. So this was our Artisan Growth Pump deck. So 0 rares in the deck, and it still actually proved to be very powerful. We actually took down some of the more competitive decks. We took down, as per control, Mono Black and Mono Blue. So those are, some of the top decks in the format. And one of the decks that we lost to was White-Green Enchantments. That is one of the strong deck types. But the deck overall performed better than I was expecting. Because I wasn't too sure how well all these pump spells were going to work against, how much hard direct control spells there are, and how many indirect control spells there are in Mono Black. Now, we did actually suffer from that against the Black-Blue Leer deck. And part of the issue was just we still are relying on, not accidentally flooding. We still have to draw a mix of our non-creature spells and our creatures to take advantage of our infantry. And we do heavily rely on the pump to get our extra advantage with like Jewel Thief and Iconoclast to keep them pressuring our opponents without having to turn them into trades. But overall though, not a bad deck. And if you ever want to sleeve this up for, paper, this actually is something you can take to a local FNM and probably not necessarily guarantee win it, but have some fun. Alright. next deck idea here, we have Artisan Rakdos. So this is a deck built around the Untitled Anvil. Kind of like most decks that you see that's built around Anvil, we use Blood-Tithe Harvester, we use Epicure to give us those blood tokens. But we're actually going with a little Ceremonial Knife usage in here. That way we can equip any of our creatures, attack in, get the blood, and be able to keep generating blood tokens for the purpose of tributing to this Anvil. The other cards that we're taking advantage of, we're using the Reckoner's Bargain as a way to sacrifice our creatures to get some draw value. But we also have Eaten Alive, so we can sacrifice any of our creatures to exile a creature or a Planeswalker. It's much better than using Bone Shrapnel, just because it's exile-based, and you have the alternate cost capability of paying 5. So if you draw it in a late game, for some reason you've been board wiped, have no creatures, you could still potentially play this. We do have the Synthesizer for giving us some pseudo-draw, and we have one Blood Fountain for some recursion. The new cards that we're taking advantage of in this deck is Lagrimos, the Hand of Hatred. What's great about this card is, if for some reason 5 creatures were to die in a turn, we can actually tap this to search our library to put into our hand any card we want. But the thing is, we have to have 5 creatures die for this trigger to happen. But with an Oni Cult Anvil deck that generates a lot of these extra tokens to the board, that actually doesn't seem that unbelievable to have happen. Especially considering Lagrimos at the start of each combat will generate as a 2/1 Trample Haste creature that must be sacrificed at the beginning of the next end step, means that we'll definitely have at least 1 creature die every turn. So if our opponent ever decides to like chump block the 2/1 and ends up losing a creature in a trade, well, we're already at 2. Oni Cult Anvil, every turn that we're trying to turn these blood tokens into tokens, we go wide. Eventually we can sacrifice them off, get that value, and we can just turn this into a search to try to get, you know, the removal spells for the board, like the Lightning Strikes or Eaten Alive. But we have flexibility with it. The other card we're taking advantage of is Garna, Bloodfist of Kel. Now, this is actually one of the cards I'm most excited about for this deck, because whenever another creature you control dies, we get to draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, we deal 1 damage to each opponent. This is so good for us because when you pair it with Lagrimos, that generates that 2/1 that must keep attacking, the opponent is going to be forced to either block, and we get a card draw, or take the 2 damage, end of turn, we must sacrifice it and take another point of damage, and we just get a lot of value off that. Plus, Oni Cult Anvil, being able to sacrifice our tokens at any time, does allow us to get the card draw in the middle of combat, or just do extra damage off the activate. So, really excited to try this deck out. We'll hop into some games and show you how it works. But I guess Izzy, though, has issued us a duel challenge. What form of duel would you like to issue us, Izzy? Sorry, I got a little into describing the deck before I acknowledged the duel. I saw it there, but I just wanted to make sure I went through it all first. Oh, you sent a duel challenge. I was just asking which form of format would you like to challenge us in? I was going to say just... Oh, okay, hold on. Alright. We'll give you a minute. Well, Izzy decides on the terms and condition for our duel. If there's any questions about the deck and how it works, just feel free to shout out. I'll answer as well as I can. Alright, Izzy wants to challenge us in an explore fight. Let's see. Do I have you on my quick drop here? No, I don't. But we have you on here, so. The challenge match explore. Yeah, so it's deck type 60 card. Is there a... Do you want to actually try to fight against our new Artisan build, or do you want to actually play against one of our Explore decks? I think, like, what's one of our Explore decks that we can use? Okay, you're doing an Artisan build for Explorer? In which case, we'll just challenge you with the Artisan deck that we are playing ourselves. Let's see, if that's the case, up here... Artisan Rakdos. Oh, so, challenge, best of one, deck type 60 card. Alright, here's the challenge. Challenge has been sent to you. Just need you to hit the accept button. And here we go. But yeah, if anyone ever wants a challenge, there is a redeem for doing that. Also, I jokingly put in something called the Curse of Silence. So that way, if you want to deny me to being able to say any magic word here, I can't say a certain word for like 5 minutes or so. But anyway, Chase, let's go ahead and see how we can get this to work. Alright, it's a little bit of a gamble here, but I think we can keep this. I'll lead with the caves, and it'll be Izzy's turn. Alright, we're going to lead off and annoy Izzy with a Virus Beetle. Oh! Depose deploy, okay. Wait. I just realized that we could potentially be going against one of our old deck ideas. But Izzy may have just, made their own without realizing we made something similar. We'll attempt the Blood Tithe Harvester, see if they have a counterspell. Okay, we're fine with that. Oh, okay. So they're mill. Got it. They're using a bunch of cantrip stall effects, so that way they can, tap our creatures, prevent us from being aggressive, and hit us with mill. Okay. I see you, Izzy. I see you. Alright, let's go ahead and get the anvil to the board. We'll attack it. And we will sacrifice this and get some of our token value going. Okay, Guild Mage for Izzy. We'll just hit that with a Voltage Surge. Veto, okay. I think we actually have to just get rid of this Guild Mage because it's free card draw for the purpose of their tutelage. And get that extra value of tokens to the board. So let's see, we're looking at 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So we already have lethal on the board. Can Izzy find a way out? They did say that they're an artisan build themselves, so they don't have sweepers. All sweepers in white are rare. There is technically some mass bounce that they could potentially do, but yeah, no, that's the game. So, GG. That will be lethal. Sorry there, Izzy. We did actually have a decent aggro plan here. Oh, and Izzy's like, that's not it. I'm going to go again. All right, Izzy. Let's see. We'll give them another chance here. I figure Izzy's got a lot of these points stacked up. They like to make sure to show up to almost all of our streams here. Oh. Did the challenge go through? Okay, yeah, it's still processing. But I hope that helped already show off just how, powerful our deck can potentially be. Now, Izzy didn't have a whole lot of interaction against us, but we were still able to show off a relatively quick win with the deck. I did send the challenge. I guess it didn't go through. Let me just go ahead and cancel the challenge then and retry it. That sometimes happens with the game. Did you receive the challenge now? Yep, there it is. We'll go ahead and play our Rakdos Artisan deck once more. Okay, I think we have a very keepable hand. We'll go with this. We do have the advantage of being on the play, and I think we'll take the aggressive play line with the Harvester this time. Alright, Rune Crab for Izzy, which is a problem for us, but at the same time it's not. So, our main problem right here is we missed lands. They did hit one of our anvils, which is a shame, but if we don't have the mana... Alright, there we go. Go for the anvil. Send this in, and we will eat our blood here. I don't want to go for the synthesizer because we can't really play anything off of it right now. Alright, another Psychic Corrosion. That's just like Teferi's mill plan. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Let's lead with the synthesizer. Okay, so we get to play the land from there. Go for a beetle. Make Izzy discard. Attack in for some damage, and we will eat this token. Okay, perfectly fine with those mills. None of those were important for us. Alright, another Rune Crab and a Wind Robber. They can sacrifice the Wind Robber at any time to get a card draw. let's lead off with the synthesizer being sacrificed to Anvil. I'm gonna send in the team first. I imagine Izzy's going to use this block here, sacrifice draw. Yep, just like I thought. I have to admit, though, I did make a misplay. I should have done the Eaten Alive first, but it doesn't matter too much, I don't think. Sacrifice the Epic here. And we'll pass it back. Let's see, so we have 33 cards left in deck. Down to 29. Another Wind Robber means that they could draw 2 more, makes us mill 4 more cards. That's 8 cards from us. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do we sacrifice this, draw some cards? I think I will. Ooh, not good. Ooh, that's good, that's good. Okay, so we'll land Virus Beetle. Make them discard a card. Go for Blood Fist here. We attack in. After damage is done, we end up sacrificing one of our tokens, make them lose some more life. Now, it's just a case of, can they mill out the last of our cards here? It is very possible. Now, it's a case of, can they mill out 10 cards after this mill here? If they can mill the last 10 cards, they will win this match. If they cannot, we'd have lethal here. Actually, this is a case of if they actually did have a sweeper where they did a destroy. Let's see, that's 2, 4, 6. That's not enough. They're a card short of draw, right? Oh, no, I did it wrong. My math is wrong. I think they did actually do it. Yep. Well done, Izzy. Well done. Sadly, we moved just a turn too slow on that one. Yeah, no, I was, when I did the math on that, I was thinking it was 2, 4, 6, and forgot it was a draw 2, so that's 12 cards. So they definitely got us. I mean, it's an interesting build. I don't really know how much I care for the Guild Mage in the deck, in all honesty. But I do think you have a lot of good options for the Artisan plan, where you can gain life and draw cards at the same time to sustain yourself, while you're relying on the Teferis as well as the other card to mill your opponent out. So I think you have a pretty good build for a Artisan plan. I'm not really sure what else I can suggest from what I saw. I mean, you were already running Dovins, which is one of the best counterspell magics that you can for fighting against non-creature spells. I didn't really see a whole lot of real interaction against your opponent from your deck, is the only thing I'm a little worried about, but I mean, you had some tap downs, draws, so I mean, it didn't feel bad. It felt like you had a pretty interesting design. So no, I mean, I would definitely think that it's like if you were doing an artisan build and just played against artisan people, that's a very solid build. All right, well, thank you very much for the challenges, Izzy. Those were fun games. Um, Glad you were able to actually show off the power of your deck in that second game there. Let's go ahead and jump into our, uh, scheduled program here of the Artisan Rakdos and Standard, and see how well we can do. The shame I never drew Lagmos in any of the matches, though. I was really wanting to see how well that was going to work out. Alright, this is super greedy, but I think I'm going to keep it. Okay, so we have been cursed. We are not allowed to say that particular word there. I need to get my timer going. So for 5 minutes, I am not allowed to say the word Izzy has designated. Alright, we'll keep this. Alright, non-basic for our opponent. Swamp for us. Hey there, Queen. How are things going? No, I didn't. I said basic and I said taps, non-basic for our opponent. I had not said that word yet. Nice try. And I'm not even going to get baited into saying it from you calling out the word there in the chat. Curse of Silence, that had a evil combo. No, I just simply said non-basic. I didn't say the full phrase. If you think you can clip me saying it, do it. Oh, thank you very much for the hydrate. Alright, Pump's gonna siphon us. Alright. Yeah, I figured that was a fitting symbol for it. So I made sure to adjust it to have that look. I haven't come up with a haven't been able to design the image for the curse yet for the redeems, but I'll try to get that updated at some point. It's so hard to actually get an image that small that actually looks identifiable. Oh, that's unfortunate for us. We missed the land draw. And the opponent takes our Blood-Tide Harvester from us. Okay. Trying to think, what do I do here? Let's see. If we play Virus Beetle, we take away another card. I'm gonna try to attempt the Anvil while they only have 1 mana open. Oh, you are so red. I did say it, Hench, that time. No! You got me there, Izzy, on it overall. Dang it. I guess I'll just restart myself. And I mean, I have to come up with some kind of punishment for this. I have not come up with something. If you have any suggestions, feel free to, give me ideas here. Alright, so I restarted the timer on it. Alright, let's see if we can hit ourselves a mana source. I was at 2.5 minutes in. I was halfway through when I screwed up. Alright, opponent is going to be very rude to us. Well, I am a oh, well, I'm a non-basic deck, but... Jelly beans and I don't know... I don't know Arianis. I'm not sure what exactly you mean by the second part there, Queen. But I think I get what you're trying to say. Do the those jelly beans that have the potential, like, this is the good flavor, this is the terrible flavor ones. Yeah, no, I probably could do that. I just have to find out where to get those. Okay, so we do get ourselves a mountain. Fun's probably holding on to more counter. Well, enjoy your lurk there, Hench. Depends on which one you want. Well, let's see. What can we do here? What can we do here? I don't know. I don't know Arena Arena is giving me... Yeah, okay. Not saying that last part. Nice try trying to get me to say the forbidden word. Alright, let's go for a virus. See if we can get our opponents to discard another card. I imagine they're just sitting on counterspell magic. Alright, they just discarded it. Why wouldn't you just... If you're going to discard it, you may as well cast it. My thought process behind that is very simple. If you're going to be forced to discard your counterspell because you let this enter the battlefield, you may as well cast it. Just that way you can, you know, not have to worry about giving your opponent the card. Let's see, there is a Birdie Bots all flavor beans from Harry Potter, which are Bible in Japan. I mean, I know they exist. I just not sure where I can buy them around me. But I'll see about maybe picking some up, just as that, you know, potential torture thing for a punishment. But yeah, Queen, go ahead and try to tempt me to say words. Let's go to combat and attack. No responses there, so we'll attempt the Harvester. Harvester gets to stick. I'm gonna keep the token of blood because I imagine the opponent might have a sweeper, and this allows us to, you know, re-establish the board again. Yep, see, there's the meat hook. They've just been waiting for us to get more to the board. But with the opponent tapped out, we can go for Lagmos. Oh, we finally get our fourth land. Why? I was at 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Alright, one more time. We'll restart it up. Oh my gosh. No, I do need to find a way to come up with some kind of punishment. But yeah, I do like the idea of maybe doing the jelly bean plan there. My problem is I'm not a big fan of jelly beans in general. Alright, opponent's going to invoke us. How about you add just 1 minute, or this could go for hours. No, 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 I got it, I got it. I'm going to succeed. We will not have that issue. Well, I already did do the slap, so I guess that works, right? Because I face palmed it. All right, we'll put Garna onto the board. Sacrifice the blood. So this way, if the opponent does have another one of these invokes, we have sacrifice fodder. Alright. Junji for our opponent. Trying to think, like, what can we do to deal with the Junji here? We can give ourselves a draw 3 by sacrificing this after we go to combat. Why are some things are called basics and others have forced and so on? Well, if it's got the term basic, it means that you can have as many of those copies in your deck as you want. But some of the non-basics still identify as the land type, but you're restricted on how many copies you're allowed in your deck. But nice try, Hinch. I'm not going to say it that time. Alright. So opponent does cut it down. We'll go for the epic here. No, 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 no. I did not say the... Did I say type? Did I? I'm going to have to go back and check that. I'm fairly certain I didn't say it that time. I'm fairly certain I said it has the types, but I don't think I said that word. Let's see. I think we'll pass it to the opponent. I was really hoping to be able to attack in and get our value, but... Holding up the... Oh, I did say it, unfortunately? Dang it. Alright, well, there we go. We'll restart it once more. This will be the last time. I'm not going to say it this time. I'm going to be good about it. I do need to find a way to... sanitizer. I'm not sure when Derek Lee said sanitizer, but not sure what that's about. Alright, before that gets to the board, we are going to sacrifice, draw some cards. Because we need to find the removal spell for the Children really bad. I mean, I believe he may have got me to say it. So, which is why I restarted the timer. No, you got me on it live there, I see. Okay, thanks for the clip there, Izzy. Alright, no, I do believe it. I do believe it. It is why I did restart the timer, so it's going. Alright, we draw. Let's go. Oh, this is going to feel so bad if they have a counter spell. Because I am going to be 1 mana source short from being able to pay the extra 2. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I made the mistake. Let's see, 2 of the disappears are in the graveyard. I honestly thought I said basic type, not the word. That's what I was trying to say, at least. It's one of those things, you get it in your head, this is what I'm going to say. But you end up blurting out the wrong word. Alright, let's attempt to remove Children. We have to go for it. Alright, we get it off the board. That's huge for us. What does our opponent have? They have one of our cards still, and I don't know what it is. They could be holding on this Lightning Strike, maybe? Vortex puts it back in the hand. Bit annoying. Let's go Synthesizer. We lose a Beetle. That's okay. We're definitely getting pressured by this Junji, though. So we are unfortunately dead here. Oh, they start with our hand. Interesting. Since we had a double Garna hand, so we don't really lose anything. Let's eat the Synthesizer. Anvil to the rescue. He'll buy us a turn. And full control, we attack. Actually, I don't need to full control it, but eat this in the middle of combat. That way we can get the draw trigger from Keld. Sacrifice or sack to destroy. Oh, okay. You're trying to put a new one on me, Queen. Got it. I don't have multiple timers for this. I need to set up something like that then, I guess. That's going to be interesting. All right. Yep. Opponent does get us with the invoke there. But I did manage to successfully complete the first curse now. We have passed the 5-minute marker. And I managed to finish it right at the end, unfortunately, as we lose. Alright, so at the start of the next one, I'll start up a timer for the new curse. Would be unfair if I get to spend all this time between matches and not have a timer rolling on me, right? But, by the way, when it comes to your curse, it's going to be either sacrifice or I'll accept sack. We'll treat those both the same word there. But destroy will have to be a different word. So, which would you prefer between those? So this is a question. What is you? I'm having trouble reading this one. Okay, so you're gonna choose sack. Okay, so it would be sack once when we start the game. For the new curse. Let's see. So this is a question. What is Utus on repainting OG Duel lands? Oh, what's my opinion basically on the reprints of OG Duels? To be honest, I don't really have much of an issue against it. It makes it so that more people can have access to them, since they are in such a small supply for the average player. Now, I'm also under the impression I'm okay with people just proxying those things, because like I said, it's old stuff you can't get access to without basically, you know, selling off your firstborn child kind of mentality. They're just too expensive. So if you want to like have fun playing with them, I'm fine with just people proxying them. So if you're a collector, I can understand you being maybe mad because it's lowering the value, but at the same time, those are some of the OG cards. Those OG cards won't see really a dip in value with a single reprint. Now, as long as they don't go over reprint on them, that's another thing. All right. So we'll go ahead and take a mulligan on here. I don't like the only one land situation. This one we can keep. And we're going to start the curse the moment that we actually get to start playing. And just a reminder for everyone, the curse is going to be sack or sacrifice. I cannot say those words for at least 5 minutes. We will send Epicure to the bottom. All right. Timer starts. Alright, so against mono black, more than likely, there is a chance that, it has, like, maybe blue or some other color splashed into it. But I'm thinking we're just against mono black. Alright, Trespasser for our opponent. And they're actually going to come in with the Bank Buster. Smart play. Go for another Harvester. We're going to use the first Harvester's effect to get rid of Trespasser. For the discard, we are going to give up... let's see. I think we give up... Harvester. Bargain lets us offer up a tribute of one of our creatures, and we can draw 2 cards. We gain life equal to the card's mana cost. I see you're already trying to bait me into saying the word. But here you go, you can read it right there. Now, the thing is, it is a thing that you have to do at the casting of the card, so as an additional cost. Alright, massacring our board. There we go, then we got the land. We'll go for another Harvester to the board. I go for Harvester over the Hand of Hatred, just in case our opponent brings out a Liliana against us. Yeah, I'm catching on here. I'm catching on. Yep, there's Invoke. Mono black doing mono black things. They had a heck of a curve here. The only thing we were lacking was a 2-drop. Let's just play Epic here. Hold up the bargain. That's it. With bargain, we can give up a blood here to get some draw. Alright, there's Liliana. Going to make us lose our creature more than likely. Yep. There goes the Epicure. Although, I kind of zoned out. I should have gone Reckoner's Bargain and, eaten it to our own effect. Then we would have gained a point of life. I mean, I figure you knew what it was. Alright, let's go for the Hand of Hatred. Opponents got a pause because of Bank Buster draw. Combat. But they also have Infernal Grasp. Boot earns. Alright. So when they uptick Lily, we give up the land. Then we play Anvil, eat a blood, and then eat Lily. Anvil to board. I'm trying to think, do I just get greedy and go double Anvil? I'll lose the Eat, which means that we can't get rid of the Lily. Because she'll uptick, we both discard. So... Sacrifice. Okay, cool. I reached the 5-minute marker right as I said that. That was close. Like, literally as I was, like, looking at the clock here, and I said that, it was like, did I say that too early? Because it was literally saying 5:01 on the timer here. Pass it back. Another Lily. Alright. If I knew the opponent had second Lily, it would just be a case of Oni Cult Anvil would have been the correct play. Alright. Underdog for the opponent. They blitz. They get into lots of damage. Oh, they don't blitz. Alright. I guess they don't need to. I'm just so used to them blitzing it just because they want the draw value. Just because I'm a little spiteful, we'll kill this. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to come back into this one. I'm like trying to think like what all can we do? They have the Meat Hook Massacre. They have so anytime we do this, we don't actually do any damage to them. And if we do manage to kill their creatures, we lose life. They have draw value with Sorin going. Yeah, no, we're just going to go ahead and give this one up. Oh, man. I really hate Mono Black right now for just going against it. It's got way too much strengths going for it. As you got to see, like, the opponent's early plays here. They played Bankbuster turn 2, Trespasser turn 3, hit us with the Meat Hook turn 4, Invoke Despair turn 5. They hit, like, this insane curve of cards, and it's just so oppressive. Because if we had a bunch of little creatures, Meat Hook clears the board, then if we develop a new creature to the board, oh, well, Invoke Despair happens. Not only are you going to lose your creature, but we're just going to get tons of card draw, and you lose life. Oh, man, it is so hard dealing with it. I have no clue what... I'm still baffled. Someone made a comment on the YouTube side saying sanitizer. I have no clue what that's about. Oh, it's actually an emote. That's what it is. Okay, so on this open, we have actually a pretty decent hand. All we have to do is hit ourselves some lands here, and we should be pretty good. We'll go for the anvil. Get that set up. Knight of Dusk Shadow. That's something you don't see every day. It's actually not a bad card. Let's see. Let's actually go for the Blood Fountain here. Go for a Voltage Surge. Actually, let's do that during our opponent's turn. Oh, wait. Thank you, opponent, for doing that. We'll just go ahead and sacrifice it for the extra damage for fun. But I just realized I wanted to actually kill the creature, because I forgot that we can't gain life. So it'd actually be an issue with the anvil if that was the case. Alright. Anvil number 2. Get ourselves some bodies to the floor. Sacrifice a creature. Get rid of Trespasser. And I'm trying to think, what do I give up here? Do I give up the Lightning Strike or the Epicure? I don't want to give up the Synthesizer. I think we'll give up the Lightning Strike. I give up the Lightning Strike because this way, if the opponent has a look at a player's hand, make us discard. I was going to say we have the ability to still generate ourselves some more artifacts. Opponent's got a cut down. Yep, they have a cut down. My music stop, or is it between songs? There we go. Something just happened to it, so there we go. We got it fixed. Music is back. I can't play the Epicure because it's a tap source. That feels bad. Alright. Liliana for our opponent. Alright. So opponent's going to play out the underdog so that they can uptick. We just are the only one to lose a card here. Right. Before we play that, let's eat this. See what we come across. Ooh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So we can use this. Extra cost, sacrifice a creature. And actually, I want to get rid of this. I probably should have done the swing first, see if the opponent blocked, but I wanted to get rid of the underdog in particular, just because the opponent has the ability to blitz it, get their card draw back value-wise. Do we still have anything in the graveyard? No, we don't. Alright. We'll take the hit. Okay, let's go to combat. We'll swing both of these. Sacrifice the token, get some card draw. Virus Beetle the opponent, make them lose that card in hand. And eat the beetle, get some tokens. Alright, we're doing well now. All we have to just do is avoid opponent hitting a meat hook, and we should be able to still, like, win this. Alright. So, attack first. Eat the token. And opponent's turn. I didn't eat the tramway station right away in case our opponent hit like another Dreadfuge or Liliana. Didn't want to give them the opportunity to get that value against us. Ooh, we hit Garna. So this is strong. Attack with all of these. Hey Raz, how are things going? Alright. Before damage, we'll choose to sacrifice that. Hoping to find something else. Oh wait, did I miss lethal because of that? I did. No, I was 1 point short. I was 1 point short. I take it back. I take it back. Yeah, opponent scoops it up. Alright. Yeah, if we come across Mono Black and they don't have Meat Hook Massacre, we definitely win here. $7:30 now? Anyone want an arena code to celebrate the victory? Oh, do you have some arena codes from participating in what you call it? One of the seal events? Thank you very much for sharing that. So whoever can copy that and enter it into arena, it'll be a first come first serve. Enjoy. That should get, if that's the type of code that I think it is, I'll get you some packs if you haven't already entered one of them already. Because, Raz, that's one of the pre-release kit codes, correct? Yeah, no, thanks again, Raz, for sharing that, for whoever would like to claim it. If nobody's claimed one yet. And, oh, by the way, if anyone is interested, Raz does do some streaming for World of Warcraft, if you ever want to catch him doing the streams. So if you want to maybe even thank him for giving out the code, make sure to give him a follow. Let's see. This is a little greedy, but I think I'm good to keep on here. It's a little slow as part of the issue because of the tramway station coming to play tapped here. But we get to be able to sacrifice for some draw, be able to potentially find those lands if we don't draw them. Okay, cool. We do draw land. Great thing about this is that we can sacrifice any creature or artifact. So even though we don't gain life off of sacrificing blood, we at least turn it into just pure card draw instead of a loot. Alright, big surprise. It's mono black again. Let's go for the caves. Attack in. And pass it back. Well, here's the thing. Mono black is both a yes and no in that situation. The reason why it's a no is just because Meat Hook Massacre. If they get that to the board, it really makes things hard for us. If it, not for the Meat Hook Massacre, it actually is a decent matchup for us. Let's go for the Caves. Get the life gain. This is actually probably a turn where it would have been better for us to... Hello? Oh, they have priority still because of Bankbuster. Should have gone for the untap source, just that we could have held up the lightning strike. I didn't want to put Garna immediately to the board, just because I didn't feel like I want to risk it against an immediate removal spell here. Alright. Thorn for our opponent. Let's test Synthesizer first before we do anything. We'll bring out the Blood Fountain. Bump off Sorin. And we will eat the blood. And pass back. Now, the Blood Fountain's only a one-of in our deck, but it's just useful because of the fact it gives us 2 sacrificable artifacts for the purpose of the Anvil. And it does have the possibility of letting us get back important cards like Garna. Next turn, we'll try to get Garna to the board and go for attacks and see if we can either get ourselves some just damage through or get some card draw. Always sacrifice the non-artifact card when possible. I say always, but it's like most of the time. But it's like looking over our cards, seeing how things are. Alright, so let's go for Garna. Declare an attack, but we are just going to sacrifice it to get card draw. Go for the value plan of fighting against this opponent. How's this worded again? Until the end of turn. Alright. I take 2. Opponent's probably going to hit us with a sweep here. Probably a Meat Hook. If that's the case, we just let it happen, because if they do X3, it kills everything. Goldred. Alright. Oh, there's the perfect draw to deal with Shieldred. Let's attempt something here. Let's actually go Hand of Hatred. Actually, that was probably a bad idea to go for that first, but it doesn't matter. Sacrifice this. The opponent's going to lose a little life. We get a replacement token. Alright, they're going to activate the Bankbuster. Opponent forgets probably that we have, you know, the ability to just go Voltage Surge here. We'll give up the token again. Now, we don't get a replacement token to the board right away because we already had the Anvil generate that. But we'll be able to get in a fair bit of damage this turn. Yeah, we're not killing the opponent fast, but they're just getting, you know, a fair bit of life gain value from that in the air, so it's kind of hard for us to kill them quick because of the lifelink, but my concern is the fact that it's like mono black just has this much card draw. They drew 2 cards off Bankbuster, 2 cards off Invoke Despair, and I think they got... No, we killed Sword before he gave them any card draw, but it just got so much draw value. Alright, there's that meat hook that I was waiting for. So the opponent doesn't gain any life off the sweep here, because... Well, actually, they gain 1 life, because this is only another creature. Doesn't count itself. Alright, let's first eat the synthesizer. Go for the Harvester. Fortunately, the opponent has some kind of interaction from how it seems. I'm just going to eat the token here. Get the card draw right now. Alright, Harvester number 2 to the board. This way, we are forcing them to need another multi-spell answer here. They could just do cut down, or etc. so forth. But with 2 of these on the board, it does mean, with the amount of blood we have, we could potentially answer if they like try to bring out like another Sheoldred, which we exile. It also means that they can't just bring down a Liliana and make us sacrifice 1, and we won't have anything on the board anymore. Okay. So we're probably going to have to sacrifice Harvester, get rid of that. If this gets to survive. That's a big if. Okay, so... Go for this. Move to combat. Alright. Before the opponent can block... I was testing to see if they had any response here. That way I can make sure to get rid of both the token and the Sorin. Yeah, I really hate having to deal with Meat Hook. It's just so much value generated. And it's one of those things, if you're playing black, you run Meat Hook. Why? Because it either shuts down aggro, or makes it so that way you can equal out the opposing Meat Hook that you have to fight against. Let's see. Go for Garna. Looks like opponent's got some kind of instant speed removal. Probably a cut down. Nope, just a big march. So, lots of life gain for our opponent, unfortunately. We'll get our card draw value. I mean, we're grinding. We're actually further in our deck than our opponent is. Pass it back. I don't want to put another Harvester to the board in case the opponent did top deck another Meat Hook. Because we are already, you know, over 20 cards in our decks. Alright, they're just passing it. Alright, we'll drop this Virus Beetle right away. There was no pause, so opponent probably doesn't have any instant speed interaction. Oh, are they just flooded? I know I'm not getting any real damage through by doing this. But I want to make sure we don't fall behind on the card value. Opponent's giving us a GG, so I guess that they just are looking at nothing but lands in their hand. Let's see, let's sacrifice this, add Garna and Lagmos back to hand. You have more Dominaria codes to hand out? Nice. Alright. Put this to the board. Sacrifice here. Land. Pass. And there we go. We got him to scoop it up. It was a grindy match against Mono Black, but we took it down. And this... We went through a lot of cards that, you know, let them stall, get card value against us. Like, they marched us for like 8 and got some great draw. It could be that some of the people here... Thank you very much, there, Raz. I was gonna say, some of the people here may have already, like, claimed codes. But, if not, there's a code for everyone. How many codes do you actually have there, Raz? You think you have 2 more? Alright. To be honest, I actually haven't entered a code myself, so if you don't mind, I'll actually scoop that one up if nobody needs it. Because I didn't get to participate in this last event. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, I'm copy-pasting. I hope you don't mind. Alright, there we go. 6 packs. Thank you very much for the code there, Raz. I do greatly appreciate that. I mean, when you're getting 6 packs for free, you might as well take them, right? Because at the very least, it's going to be a free wild rare, plus, you know, 6 of anything else that might be useful for you. Alright, we'll do one more game with the deck. See, how is our deck looking here? I accidentally closed the tracker. Okay, so far we're only 2-2. I really want to actually get a couple more games in than just one more. That last game just took forever. We can keep this. Hey, I greatly appreciate that. I mean, oh, that reminds me. I have not done this for you there, Raz. Give me 1 second. Roles manager. Let's see. What was your full name? The real Raz? There you go. You're now a VIP. Oh, Hench! And you also gifted him a sub. I greatly appreciate that, Hench. Hope you enjoy the sub. You now have access to the emotes. I do apologize, opponent. We are getting back into our game here. Oh, Hench scooped up the first set of packs. So, I mean, yeah, 6 packs is worth about $5, right? All right, let's see. Opponent only has a hopeful initiate. We unfortunately miss on a land draw. I'm trying to think, do I just harvest off the initiate here and bargain off the... Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to kill the initiate here. Sacrifice this, dig for some lands. Come on, deck, give us a land. Oh, thank you. That was close. So we actually have the Garna Logmos combo in hand. We just need one more hand to bring out the Garna here. I'm kind of wondering what our opponent's plan is. They might be Naya humans with the play for a hopeful initiate. But yeah, Hench, thanks once more for being so generous to gift out subs. I mean, you've done that a couple times for me. I do greatly appreciate that. Alright, it seems our opponent is roping here. Not sure the reason. Could be that they are roping because we kind of did that to them at first by accident. It also could just be a salt rope. So yeah, I think our opponent is... They may have disconnected, I'm not sure, but we are probably going to get this one due to a disconnect from the ropes here. If they don't get forced to concede, we can go Logmos next turn at the if we don't draw an untapped source and get the 2 damage in. Alright, with that, we'll actually go for Garna. I'll go for the Garna first because it's, you know, the larger body. We're being, you know, very efficient with our mana here. Now we can go for Lagmos next turn, be able to attack in for about the same amount of damage as if we were to have played it first. This actually leads to a lot more damage because if Garna gets 6 to the board, once Lagmos hits the board, we'll be able to get the attack in with both of them, and when the token dies, we'll deal extra points of damage. But this one just seems to be a opponent is going to scoop it up here. Sorry if you disconnected opponents, and if not, well... okay, no, they are not disconnected. That is a... They actively are roping us. In which case, I do not feel sorry for them at all. It could be a petty move because, you know, we took so long on our second turn, but... Come on, opponents. Hello, are you actually there? Because if you're just actively roping us, this is just kind of sad. Oh, and Raz has thrown out another set of codes for anyone who is looking for those cards. So, be the first to grab them. If you do actually use the codes, make sure to shout it out so that way other people know. But, alright, so we'll go ahead and play another game. It looks like, I'm not sure how much that was opponent just got stuck on 2 lands, how much he might have just been disconnected. But we'll go ahead and move past that game. Alright, we're a little light on the lands at this hand, but I think we're good to keep it. Get a turn 2 Blood Tithe is always really solid. Okay, perfect turn for a tap land because we don't have a turn 1 play. And we needed to draw the land anyways. Ah, Naturalist for our opponents. I'd rather not deal with a Naturalist. We're going to get rid of it right away. Oh, okay. Different style of deck. Let's go for Blood Tithe Harvester. Let's see, so Yavimaya Coast, Painland, Jetmir's Garden, and a Plains. So if they do actually run the Domain enchantment, they have a cost reduction. Well, they have a full cost reduction now. They have all 5. Because this is white, blue, black. Oh, thank you very much for the hydrate. Go ahead and do it right now. Let's see here. Do I block? Well, actually, it's a lot cooler today than it's been in the last couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, you are right. It is generally hot down here. I mean, we're at least in the upper 80s instead of like low hundreds. You know, I will take the block. I'm gonna go ahead and trade. Ooh, this leads to some interesting play here. So when we bring out the Unoccult Anvil, we can sacrifice this, get ourselves our little token. But I'm not going to bring Ceremonial Knife to the board yet, just in case our opponent does have the Flash Domain enchantment that seals things up. I want to be able to sacrifice our Anvil in response to get that card draw. Alright, another Naturalist for our opponent. Alright, well, we will sacrifice a creature, get rid of the Jukai Naturalist here. We will Voltage Surge, get rid of the Remnant of the Rising Star, and we pass it back. Alright, they cycle. lands a board, and then they pass. Alright. Gonna go for the Ceremonial Knife. Going to equip it here. Alright, there's the Leyline Binding. Sadly, I am now tapped out. They're gonna go for my knife? They leave the anvil? What is this craziness? Alright, Extraction Specialist gives them back the Naturalist. Logmos to the board. Move to combat. Send the squad. Whatever the Extraction Specialist blocks, we sacrifice to the anvil. Alright, they choose not to block any of them. The only thing we couldn't sacrifice was the 2-1, and I would have actually lit that trade regardless. Jugon defends the temple. Offer block. Sacrifice before damage, deny them the life gain. Get some card draw. We don't get a replacement token because it's our opponent's turn, but... Alright, opponent, please discard a card. Go for the Epic here. We send the squad. I think, what do I do here? I think we eat the blood. Get ourselves a new token. Opponent's turn. We have the opponent pretty low. As long as we can deny them the life gain from their Extraction Specialist attacking. Because we can, you know, block, sacrifice to the bargain. So block with Epic here. Sacrifice. This will give us 1 point of life, but more importantly, deny them the life gain. A Lightning Strike should allow us to finish the opponent here. So let's see. Attempt a Lightning Strike to get rid of Naturalist. This way they don't have the ability to gain life from blocking. Combat. Send the team. They have Wandering Emperor. I'm trying to think, like, how do we get punished here? That still tramples one, so it doesn't matter. They're always going to take at least 1 point from that. Leyline Binding. What do you target? Because they can sacrifice whatever they target to the anvil, with the exception of Logos. If they target the Oni Cult, we sacrifice it in response, we play Voldaren Epicure, and we still get 6 points in. Give them the GGs. So there we go. We got the game partially because the opponent misprioritized their first Leyline Binding. Oh, well, that actually just gives us the win right there. I miscounted how much damage we had on board on that attack. I thought we were swinging 4, not 5. Oh, that's right. I don't know why. I thought I only had 1 token here. But yeah, no, there we go. We get there against this Enchantment Domain deck. Interesting build from the opponent. Hadn't actually come across this one before, but it was actually really cool. The real Raz is continuing the gift sub that they got from Henchtoes. Wait, does that mean that you subbed again? Further? I'm not sure what exactly that note means there, Raz. You subscribed for 6 months? Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Raz. I greatly appreciate that. Because it just simply says that you continued it, and I didn't know exactly what that meant. The notification was a little weird. Where is my... Why didn't the Streamlabs notifications work here? I should have gotten an alert for this. Why didn't that work? Well, hey, I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, no, I need to find... the weird thing is I got this to work... It broke. I got it to work again, and it just broke again. I don't know what broke it. So it's so weird. But nonetheless, thank you again for the continued subscription then. But I mean, I greatly appreciate that. But oh yeah, Raz, you did mention that it's like your AC went out. How long has that been out? Because that would have been torture if it was if it's been out for more than a week. Because I remember like we were in that 100-degree weather, and my room doesn't really actually get AC. Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah, so you were part of that too. Because like I say, my room doesn't actually get AC into it. Like our place technically has AC, but because of doing the streaming, I closed the door in the back there, and it definitely becomes a bit of a hot box in here. I need to get like maybe like one of those fans into the room for when it gets those really hot days because of that. I wonder about streaming in the heat. Well, the thing is, I set up a schedule. I was going to be doing streaming, so I stuck to it. There's only been a few days where I've ever you know, chose to try not streaming because even though I had it on schedule. Partially, it's because of something coming up that wasn't unexpected, or there was the few times where I just wasn't feeling well enough. But I try to make sure to at least, you know, put something in the Discord for people to know once I'm not able to do it. But in any case, let's see where. Well, hey, I mean, I appreciate the encouragement there. Let's see. Let's actually see what you gave us in those booster packs. Those 6 packs from the codes that you handed out. In case you haven't actually redeemed a code, Raz actually was handing out some Dominaria United codes, and this was the most recent code. I don't know if anyone's actually claimed it yet, but it'll give you 6 booster packs, and it's part of the if you did the what is it called, the pre-release. But yeah, no, I miss going to the shop. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a drive, and I don't exactly make enough. Yeah, it's part of the pre-release kit codes. So if you've already redeemed a code, then you can't redeem another one. But if you haven't done it yet, make sure you do that. You get yourself 6 packs. At the very least, even if you're like saying, oh, I just mainly want to play the historic format, don't really care too much about what's out of these new packs, you can always get yourself you know, random wild cards, but also 6 boosters is a guarantee free rare, so you may as well take it. Let's see what we get out of the packs. I still think this is actually a great 2-drop. And I haven't built my Is It deck around it yet, but I'm going to in the near future. Evolve Sleeper, there's a mono black card right there that's been putting in a lot of work for people. Not too much out of this pack is super amazing, but yeah, the Is It bird is really good. Sorry, I just took it off the screen there, but let's see if we can pull out another one real quick, right? Nope. What it is it's 1 blue, 1 red, 1/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant spell, all of your creatures will get +1/+0 and trample. And it's just off of playing any instant or sorcery, so it's amazing. Alright. And there we go. We got ourselves 3 wilds. A rare, an uncommon, and a common. Although commons are the one thing I don't need anymore. I have 350 or 350 common wilds. I get those all the time. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, we got a mythic of any type. So far you've given me... I mean, I could. And I have done that in some of the sets. Alright, we got the World Spell. This is an interesting card. I'm not really sure how you'd want to really play this other than just a ramp big creatures deck. So you get a look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-saga from among them, put it into your hand, rest on the bottom in a random order, then you can add any 2 non-saga permanents from your card to the battlefield. So it is a potential burst of large bodies to the board, so maybe it could work out, but I'm not sure what you'd want to do for that build. We'll have to explore that idea one day. Oh, this is my first copy of this? Oh, I mean, this is an amazing 2-drop Knight. If you haven't actually had a chance to check this out, 2 mana, 2/2 for a striker that you can spend 2 mana, give it +1/+1 until end of turn. Makes it actually a really hard card for people to deal with because it just self-pumps and has first strike as a base. And then it gives you extra life gain as well. So I think it's actually a pretty good card. I'm not saying that this is definitely a must-include index, but I think it's a really good card. Oh, another Evolve Sleeper. All right. I think that's actually my 3rd or 4th copy right there. And off the last pack, we have the Raven Man. Now, I know a lot of people were hyped for this because we also got Liliana in the same set, but I haven't seen anyone really make a good deck that actually uses the Raven Man. Just because the tokens have this issue that they can't block, and that's actually a big issue to this card, if you think about it. So, I mean, they're good for being aggressive against your opponent, so that's not bad, but I don't know. I'm on the fence with this card. All right, but oh yeah, just so I can show you the Is It creature, Raz. There it is, Baltimore Battle Mage Captain. So yeah, flying 1/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. Now, if you're drafting, by the way, this is a huge card to get, especially if you decide to like splash green and get yourself big bodies, because any creature that doesn't have trample, you just play 1 instant or sorcery. Not only do you give them an extra power bonus, but you suddenly just get this potential like chance to get like a lethal strike out of nowhere because of all of your big bodies suddenly having trample. This also works really well with shoot, what's the... Isn't it a Leviathan? I'm actually forgetting what the name of the card is, unfortunately. The Tolarian Terror. So if you have the Tolarian Terror in play, or I mean like in your deck, and you have like a lot of like cantrippy spells, you can get this out onto the board super cheap very quickly. And if you play this with the Battle Mage, this means that you can actually turn this 5/5 that gets kind of chump blocked into a card that just tramples over now. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be better than just simply playing the mono blue deck that you just counterspell your way through. Once with the helping of the Artisian, but I'm saying that you could use this as another deck idea to play with. Because you can also, do a Delver of Secrets, Tolarian Terror with the Battle Mage, and maybe a couple other cards to help round out the deck idea. And that also works out really well. So, I mean, it's one of the fun things about crafting decks. They don't always have to be perfect decks, but you can just have some fun with the deck building. And you may just come across, when you're experimenting, a new deck type that actually could be something that takes place in the meta. But, okay, yeah, so it was my third Evolved Sleeper. I have 3 Raven Man. I think I would only ever run 2 World Spells if I was to make a deck around it, so I already have the ideal amount of those. That's cool. Alright. To wrap things up on the stream, just a reminder, for next Monday, we have the Brawl that's going to be going on, that we built this Niv Mizzet deck and Lozon. And we're taking a poll on our Discord. And if you haven't if you haven't visited our Discord, give me 1 second. I'll give you the link to it. The link is in the chat. Check out the Discord, and feel free to vote on what you'd like to see for our deck play for the tournament. It is Historic Brawl, and the deck types is Niv Mizzet is a Spellslinger deck, and Lozhan is a Dragon Adventure deck. And both of them, once we did some testing on the decks on the stream, if you missed it, was just yesterday. Both of them were actually really cool decks and had some good power. So feel free to let me know which one you'd like to actually see participate in the tournament. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, check out our YouTube. I know I'm doing some self-promotion here, but check out this link, and you can actually see from our last tournament that we participated in that we managed to become the winner with this Tapiola land deck. And in Historic Brawl, this is actually, I think, a very powerful deck. And even if you wanted to actually sleeve it up, play it in Commander, there's not a single Alchemy-only card in this Tapiola build. So go away, go have fun with it. I mean, it's definitely a deck to play. Oh yeah, actually the budget on it isn't super budget friendly, but you could make it more budget friendly by not including some cards. Because Crucible World's not very budget friendly, and Hydrocrisis, I don't think it's super expensive anymore, but you could cut these 2 cards, in all honesty. Because most of the plan is you just actually run ramp spells and get there against your opponent, because you just turn all your lands into creatures. Most of the cards, the ones I would say that are like necessary for the deck, is Immortal Sun is really good, and this one I know has a little bit of a price tag to it. Outside of that, you could probably skip on Coma, but Coma's still really good, but it's one of the other cards that you could skip on if you're looking to lower the price tag. Also, you could skip on the Uro, but it's Uro. it does so much for the deck. Time walking effects. Actually, there is 0 extra turn effects in the deck at the moment. If you want to include them, that's up to you. I just went with the idea of it's just a giant ramp deck. And it ended out coming in first place. We ended up going 3-0. It was a smaller showing than our usual ones. We didn't go up to the usual 4 rounds. We only were at 3. But the thing is, it's still did well. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually trying to think, like, what are the expensive cards in this deck? Because I think Nissa here is only, like, maybe $5 or something. Brawl's Expertise isn't very expensive. River's Rebuke's not very expensive. Sublime Epiphany's not very expensive. Storm the Festival has a little bit of a price tag, I think. I'm not sure about this one anymore. I know it went up a little bit a while ago, but if let me double check real quick how much it is, because I actually do have it also posted if you want to check out our tapped out account. Oh yeah, there is a Pact of Negation in here, which I think has some cost to it. But if you check out the link there for the tapped out, it will give you a link to a site. The overall, if you were to buy this deck outright, if you were to like buy it from like Card Kingdom, it says that it's going to be an estimated price of $402. And some of the cards that I suggested taking out would significantly reduce that price there. If you were to go for a TCG player, about $290, but it's got like a little exclamation mark on it saying that some of the cards are missing from its. None of them are rare cards though, so $290 on TCG player. If you were to go for a high ball on it, probably $300 for this deck. And when you compare that with other commander decks, this is actually pretty cheap. Like, I know a lot of commander decks that usually go well over $600 really fast. So also, if you wanted to like reduce the cost, you could cut out a number of these land fixers that are rare, but it's one of those things. Rare lands always are just nice to have in any deck. So that's what I say. This deck, if you were to, give it a rough approximation, is about $300. If you were to cut the Crucible Worlds, I know that this cuts off like $60 to $80 right there. So that alone will help you save some money. And Uro, I know, is also another one of those big price gougey cards. How much is Uro going for right now, actually? I don't know. Let's see. According to TCG Player... Wow, Uro's actually not that expensive right now. Did Uro get banned out of Modern or something? Because he's only going for about $13? I remember when Uro was going for like over 30 for a while. But in any case. Oh, did I give my last thoughts on the this deck? No, I don't think I did. But yeah, I mean, if you did just catch with this deck here, this is so the Artisan Rakdos deck here was a nice budget-friendly deck. Nothing in here is rare. That's the whole point of Artisan. It's all common, uncommon. And if you want to upgrade this deck, it doesn't really need a whole lot. Mostly, you just need to fix the lands. Now, if you want to get, like, super heavy-handed with the upgrades, you want, like, Fable, Mirror Breaker, and similar cards like that. But I actually do think Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, works amazing, and I loved seeing this card in action. And I do love just playing an Oni Cult Anvil deck. These are... It's kind of a silly deck card to just grind value off of, but they work out really well. Now, if I was to try to maybe get this deck to be a little more competitive, I think what we'd need to do is maybe trim out the Lightning Strikes. While it's great to be able to go to face with these, I actually think we need maybe more Eaten Alive in the deck. And, like I said, get the Fables in the deck. Once Fables are in the deck, we don't need the Ceremonial Knife anymore. And probably also include... either Ob Nixilis, because Ob's ability to pressure our opponent with the extra tokens on the board does work with Lagomos, but also does allow us to, affect our opponent's hands and just do lots of damage that way. Now, I do think if you don't want to get the Ob Nixilises, because I can understand it's sometimes a little awkward to play around with that card. There's still just a lot of other cards that you can do to like mix or match that synergize well with this. And I think it's just up to you to figure out what you'd prefer on doing with it. But I love this basis. This basis is fun and it works well. Well, I mean, that's really my thoughts on this deck. I just have fun with this little sacrifice value deck here. All right, well, in which case, we are getting late for our usual sign-off. We'll go ahead and call it a night here. We're going to go send everyone off on a raid. Share some love with some of the other content creators. If you have a suggestion on who you'd like to see us raid, shout them out and we'll go hit them up. But let's see who's on our usual list. Let's see. Not too many people are on right now tonight for who we usually raid, but I guess we can go hit up the Orange Crush, the Orange Crunch. Oh, want me to raid you, Raz? You're gonna go start up your stream for some while. I'll tell you what, if you want to start up your stream, we can go hit you up. But all right, well, I mean, get the stream going, go. But I guess until Raz gets the stream up, we'll play one more game for those who may have been joining us late here to show you the deck idea. And after that game is over, we'll go hit Raz up with a raid. We'll do that as the plan here. So, one last quick game. This way, Raz has some time to get things set up and get ready for everyone. Alright, on the open, it's a little awkward, but I think this is actually keepable. The nice thing about the fountain, like I mentioned before, is that it just gives us that blood token that we can use to start the Onikote Anvil going. And the reason why this one's awkward is because we don't have any base creatures for this knife, but with the Anvil, we can just create the token right away. Our goal is just to go land Anvil. Alright. I want to get the Anvil to the board right away, so that way we don't have to worry about some counterspell magic from our opponent. Alright. Go for the land. Get the fountain to the board. This allows us to play around the opponent having a counterspell, pay 2 more. And since they have a pause on the spell being played here, I'm fairly certain that's what they have. Okay, we will eat our blood. And it'll be the opponent's turn. I probably actually should have, instead of using the Anvil to deal point damage that way, just sacrifice the blood, discarded the mountain since we already have plenty of lands in hand. Alright, opponent goes for the announcement. We'll get a knife. Go for the equip. Attack in. If the opponent trades, we immediately get our token as well as a blood. So, all positives for us. Alright, we get another tramway station down. Underdog for our opponent. Not too worried about the underdog. Okay, let's see here. We go land. Attempt Harvester. Equip here. Attack in. And the problem is, it's if the opponent doesn't keep blocking and killing our token here, we just get to go wider thanks to the Oni Cult Anvil. I thought he's just going to pass it to us. Won't lie, I was a little surprised by that. I thought they might actually try to attack with the underdog or do something else. Ooh, we get another anvil. That's good. Alright, before we do anything, let's try to get the cards off the board. Get rid of underdog. Man, this is such an issue. The opponent, with that much mana open, they could counterspell us from the other anvil. Tell you what, we'll go for the ceremonial knife. We'll equip over here. We're going to go for an attack. Try to bait out the Wandering Emperor that's possibly in their hand. If we can get them to play that, we can resolve the anvil. Yep, there's the Emperor. Okay, we'll just sacrifice this, get the point of damage through that way. Anvil to board, and we will just eat a blood. Alright, meat hook X1, that's unfortunate. Because that means that they just have that ability to just keep gaining life back whenever we sacrifice the tokens. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get them to tap down enough that we can bring Garna to the board. Sacrifice this. Sacrifice a creature, get rid of the Wandering Emperor. Oh, they had a negate. Okay, well, we got them to tap out, so we can go for Garna. Pass to the opponent. Fortunately, it probably means that they actually use direct removal to get rid of the Blood Fist. We'll take the hit. It's a little bit of a gamble taking that much damage, but I didn't want to give up the token just yet. The Virus Beetle to the board. Opponent needs to discard. What did they discard? There's that make disappear, so they did have it this entire time. Or at least that's what I'm going to assume. Alright, so they go for the cut down. We'll sacrifice in response. The opponent actually loses a point of life. And we'll pass it back. I'm actually surprised how much AO I'm seeing in this deck design lately, but... See, we'll block here, block here. Just try to stem some of the damage that's coming in. We get the Voltage Surge finally, but it's a bit late. The equip here. Swing it. So this is going to give us a card draw. If they block and kill it. We also get the blood, and we also get the two tokens from Oni Cult. Problem is, if I kill AO, they put a +1/+1 counter on each of their creatures. Not like I have much of an option, because we'll just die from the 6 damage flying vigilant creature that we can't block. Oh, they're taking the look at the top 7? Put any number of non-land permanents with mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield, the rest on the bottom in a random order. Okay. So, let's see. We pass it back to the opponent. I think, is there a way that we survive this? There is a way. I have to make sure I'm doing my math right here, though. Oh. There's Rafine. That's a problem. Okay, so we have our block targets. Trying to think how much can we block here, really. So we can block here, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Which means we have to use Garnet here to block, unfortunately. If that's the case, since we don't have anything like a Meat Hook in our deck to potentially sweep up the board, I don't think there's any way for us to come back. Alright, let's offer the blocks before damage is done. We will eat both of these. And we'll Reckoner's Bargain, sacrifice the knife, get some card draw. Just try to see if we can play to all of our outs. Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that they have Wedding Festivity, give all their creatures +1/+1, it'd be a lot easier to handle these, but... Because, you know, after all, this would have 3 toughness. It wouldn't be a trade situation. Go for synthesizer. Yeah, that's a GG situation. We'll just go ahead and show them everything we had in our hand. And we'll give them the GGs. Oh, well. We actually managed to defeat that as, like, one of our first games. But sadly, this time we just had a bit of a stumbling issue in the early part. Most of it just because Wedding Festivity just gives so much value. Oh, well. I was also trying to play around this Make Disappear the entire game, and it slowed us down. But I didn't want... They kept leaving their mana open, and I didn't want to give them that value. So, oh well. Well, that will do it for us for tonight. We did say we were going to go ahead and raid the Real Raz here, so we'll go ahead and hit them up. If you're interested in seeing some World of Warcraft... why is it not... There we go. Copy. Paste. I guess I was mistyping something. But in which case, we'll go ahead and start the raid over there. The Real Raz tends to run some World of Warcraft stuff. And they are apparently playing on a fresh server, so you can watch them, you know, play through some of the leveling up content. I wish you all have a nice night, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. And we will be back tomorrow with some more standard. This time, we're going to go from doing Artisan decks to doing some more competitive decks with rares. Not that I say that these Artisan decks were bad. They actually performed pretty well. So I hope you look forward to that, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Take care, everyone.